The AI landscape right now, it just feels like a constant flood. Every single week, there's a new tool, a new model, another huge fundraising announcement.
It's nonstop.
Exactly. And it's so easy to look at all that and just assume, if you've got some smart engineers and a really shiny new algorithm, success is basically guaranteed.
But that assumption, and we see this from founders who have actually been in the trenches building these companies, it's deeply flawed.
The truth is actually pretty brutal.
Mm.
According to the founder of ReThynk AI, JD Parashar, the vast majority of these AI startups, they just crash and burn, usually within 1 to 2 years.
And the really surprising part is why. The central insight from everything we've looked at today is pretty definitive. These failures are almost never about weak technology. The code is fine, the AI models, they generally work.
So it's not the tech.
It's not the tech. The failure comes from weak foundations, a complete disconnect from just basic business principles.
Okay, so our mission today is to basically deliver a shortcut. We're taking the hard-won lessons from a founder who has navigated this minefield to uncover the 5 critical mistakes that AI builders are making.
And more importantly, we're detailing the actionable steps. What you absolutely have to do differently right now to build something that can actually last in this market.
Let's unpack this. Mistake number 1, and this feels like the most common trap, is starting backward.
Completely backward. You see it all the time. Founders get fascinated by the tech. They build something impressive first.
Right. They say, look at this incredible multimodal AI tool we built. It can do X, Y, and Z. Now, who needs it? They start with the tool, not the pain.
It's the classic and very expensive trap of having a powerful solution and just wandering around searching for a problem that it might fit. I mean, that approach might win you points in a hackathon.
But it doesn't win you paying customers.
Rarely. The sources are really clear on this. That approach is it's broken. Real traction, the kind that turns curious users into customers who actually stick around, demands you start with 3 things. 3 foundational elements you have to validate first.
Okay, what are they?
1, a genuinely painful customer problem. Not an annoyance, a pain. 2, a measurable outcome from solving that problem, a tangible ROI. And 3, a clear willingness from the customer to pay for that solution.
And if you only have 1 or 2 of those?
You fail. Simple as that. The founder put it in this really sharp way. Tools impress. Solutions convert.
Tools impress, solutions convert. I like that. It's powerful because it really gets to the heart of why building AI right now is so seductive.
Well, yeah, it's incredibly easy to build an impressive little tool. A quick summarizer, a text generator. They're novel, they get some buzz.
They impress VCs in a pitch meeting.
They do. But when that novelty wears off, why is a user going to keep paying for a feature that just saves them, 5 minutes of some mild inconvenience?
Right. The solution is what converts. It has to be tied directly to their workflow, solving a severe pain point.
Exactly. An impressive tool might draft some marketing copy for you. That's a convenience. An effective solution integrates AI into a specific CRM pipeline to, say, cut follow-up time by 50%, which leads to a measurable jump in quarterly revenue. That's conversion.
So the pivot here is to be surgical. Stop chasing all the features and trying to scale horizontally.
Stop trying to be for everyone. Focus on solving one audience's one recurring pain better than anyone else. That precision, that's your foundation.
Which leads directly into the second major pitfall, and this one is probably a bit uncomfortable for a lot of tech founders to hear. It's the myths of the AI unique selling proposition.
This is the big market reality check. In today's world, if your pitch starts with, "We use AI to automate X," you've already failed to differentiate yourself.
It's no longer a USP, it's just expected.
It is absolutely expected. It is table stakes. It's like saying, "We use electricity to power our factory." Nobody cares.
That's a tough pill to swallow, though, right? Especially when your core algorithm feels so innovative. If the tech itself isn't the differentiator anymore, where does a startup find its edge?
So the source material outlines 4 crucial areas where you find real differentiation. And, not one of them is about the size of your foundation model.
Yeah.
You have to look past the algorithm.
Okay.
First is a demonstrably better user experience. It has to be intuitive, a delight to use for that one specific task. Second, better workflow integration. How seamlessly does it fit into the tools your user already uses every day?
So no context switching.
None. If they have to change their habits, they'll just drop it.
Yeah.
Third is a data advantage. This is where you get some technical defensibility. We're talking proprietary data that lets you fine-tune a model for tasks that a general-purpose LLM just can't handle.
And the fourth?
Niche specialization. which, loops us right back to solving that one specific problem we talked about.
Let's zoom in on that data advantage for a second, because that feels like what separates a real long-term player from a flash in the pan. How do you actually get that?
It's about quality and relevance, not just quantity. Proprietary data lets you create a model that understands the specific jargon, the workflows, the nuances of a very narrow sector. Say, maritime logistics or a specific type of medical coding.
Things a general model would just fumble.
It'd completely fumble it. And that ability to fine-tune to that level of precision, that creates a real moat where just having the latest, biggest model doesn't.
So the strategy isn't to build a better general AI. It's to pick a tiny niche, dominate it with better data and integration, and only then think about expanding.
Now you're thinking defensively.
Okay, mistake number 3. This one feels like the ultimate destroyer of time and money. Ignoring validation. Just skipping the part where you test if people will actually pay.
We have all seen this story play out. Founders spend 6 months, 12 months, sometimes longer, just meticulously building something in a vacuum. It's technically dazzling.
And then they launch it to crickets. Utter silence. Because they never actually did the basic user testing.
And the AI world makes this trap even worse because the tools, the APIs, they make building feel so fast and so productive. There's this dangerous illusion that because you're moving fast, success must be right around the corner.
Even if you haven't talked to a single potential customer.
Right. It's the ultimate illusion of productivity. And the founder in our source proposes a really actionable alternative to this, a rapid 4-week validation loop.
And this isn't about getting compliments like, oh, I would totally use this someday.
No, it's about getting a clear, measurable outcome and, most importantly, testing the willingness to pay. That's where it gets real. The ultimate metric isn't a promise, it's cold, hard cash.
Absolutely. And there's a quote here that is just, it's unavoidable. If people won't pay for the problem to disappear, it's not a problem. It's a preference.
And that payment test is the definitive proof. If users will not open their wallets, even for an early, ugly prototype or a commitment to pay later, you have to start building that thing immediately.
I mean, think about that hurdle. You've spent months building, feeling productive and excited. And the validation loop tells you to stop or pivot or scrap the whole thing.
Yeah.
That's got to be emotionally devastating.
It is. But that painful pivot saves you 2 years of wasted time and burning through all your capital. Building for preferences is fun. Building for problems is profitable.
That brings us to mistake number 4, which is a classic in tech, but seems especially lethal in the crowded AI market: ignoring distribution.
This is what the source has called the biggest lie in tech. This false belief that if the product is great, users will come. It's just not true.
So AI startups die from a lack of
Right.
distribution.
Overwhelmingly, not a lack of product quality. You can build the absolute best solution for that painful problem we identified, but if nobody knows you exist, you die at 0.
So what should founders be prioritizing instead of product in those first few months?
Distribution, distribution, distribution. The founder of ReThynk AI, he stressed this strategy of building distribution before the product was even ready. That means building channels and trust with your target audience. That one audience we keep coming back to.
And what did that look like for them?
They built really instructive channels, niche-focused content that actually educated their target user, a strong newsletter, an active presence on platforms like dev.o, and crucially, they built a community and used YouTube for lectures and demos.
And that strategy, it gives you freedom, right? Freedom from having to rely on paid ads or hoping something goes viral.
Exactly. You own the connection to your audience.
Okay.
That becomes your pipeline for future customers, and just as important, it's your feedback loop for making the product better.
And mistake 5 seems to flow directly from that. The ease and speed of building with AI leads to feature explosion.
Yes. Trying to be everything to everyone, which just dilutes your core value until you're nothing to anyone. It's over-engineering fueled by accessibility. This belief that more features equals more value.
But the reality is the opposite.
The reality is the complete opposite. More focus equals more value.
So you start with just one flagship use case.
One. And it has to be hyper-focused and deliver a transformational outcome for the user, not just a convenience. If you're just making something a little bit easier, you haven't transformed their work. Transformation, not just automation, is the real goal.
So those 5 mistakes cover the weak foundations. But the conversation around this topic brought up some deeper, trickier nuances, things that sink companies right when they start getting traction. Let's shift to security and scaling.
Right, because once you start handling real user data, especially sensitive data. Security and data protection are not just checkboxes, they become explicit differentiators. Trust is non-negotiable.
So how does a small, agile team build in that necessary cybersecurity without grinding everything to a halt?
The recommended approach is privacy by design, and you have to phase it in. In the super early discovery phase, you use synthetic or anonymized data. You just avoid storing anything sensitive at all. That lets you ship fast without taking on huge liability.
Okay, and then when you move past that and get to building a real minimum viable product.
That's when you add lightweight critical guardrails. A key concept here is data minimization only collect the absolute bare minimum you need. Combine that with encryption and really clear consent wording. If your users trust you from day one, that becomes a huge competitive advantage.
That same long-term thinking must apply to scaling too. It's a massive challenge with AI, with compute costs going all over the place.
It's a very delicate trade-off between speed and structure. And the founder breaks it down into 3 distinct phases based on your user count. From 0 to 10 users, your only priority is to ship fast, use off-the-shelf tools, manual processes, whatever it takes, just get it out there.
Then once you validated the market and you hit that next stage, say 10 to 100 users, what's the tactical shift?
The focus shifts dramatically from pure speed to stabilization and sustainability. You stabilize the core product, you automate the repetitive stuff that's draining your time, and you prove the economics work. Your infrastructure might still be duct taped together, but you're proving the business model is sound.
But waiting until 100 users to really build out infrastructure, isn't that risky? Aren't you just building up a ton of technical debt?
That's the smart trade-off you have to manage. You will have technical debt. But if you invest heavily in infrastructure at 10 users, you could burn all your cash on a product that you pivot away from next month.
So once you hit that 100 to 1,000 user mark, that's when you invest.
Exactly. That's when the real engineering investment begins. You scale what's been proven to work. That means robust data pipelines, tight cost controls, which are vital for AI and tackling compliance. You only build the big structure when demand has clearly validated the need for it.
This whole framework, clarity, validation, distribution, scaling, it all sounds so logical, so actionable. Yet we know most people still fail. Why?
Because logic is easy. Execution is incredibly difficult. And there was this one comment in the sources from an experienced founder that just cut through everything else. He called out the one unglamorous trait that decides who succeeds. And that is persistence.
Persistent.
After all the perfect strategies and optimized funnels, it just comes down to the uncomfortable, unglamorous trait of simply refusing to give up. Knowing what to do is one thing. Having the sheer grit to iterate, to pivot based on harsh data, and to build those channels over months of thankless work. That's what separates success from silence.
So that really brings us to the end of our deep dive. What we've pulled together today is a distilled, integrated success formula that flips all 5 of those failure points.
And it boils down to a sequence that you just can't break. One audience, one painful problem, one elegant solution, one strong distribution channel. Master that sequence first. Get undeniable success in that first loop before you ever even think about scaling.
And what's so valuable here is that these lessons, they're not just for AI, are they? They apply to pretty much any startup.
Any startup. The core is always the same. Solve a real problem that people will pay to make disappear. Validate early with financial commitment. And stay intimately close to your users. AI is just a tool. It amplifies your execution. If your foundation is shaky, AI just helps you fail faster and with bigger cloud bills.
Execution is the new edge.
Exactly.
So here's a final thought for you to carry forward, whether you're building an AI or in any other field. If the technology itself is no longer the differentiator, what specific human insight or operational advantage in your field can AI amplify to achieve a truly transformational outcome? Instead of just a temporary convenience. Think transformation, not just automation. Thank you for joining us for this.